This is your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the Boxing Clinic. Shout out to everybody on this boxing ground. It's fight week. Canelo Alvarez, Triple G, Willie Monroe, and Billy Joe Saunders. 2 world-class championship fights. And also Callum Smith is fighting some guy from Sweden in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. And, Erislandy Lara has some choice words for Golovkin going into his fight with Canelo Alvarez. He said you can't beat Canelo on points. Or by decision in Las Vegas. He said, basically they did it to me. Why wouldn't they do it to Golovkin? And he also dubbed Golovkin to beat, Canelo Alvarez. He says Canelo's in there with a big, strong guy this time. He's in there in a real fight. He took a short glance back in the memory talking about his fight, even though he put it in the past. And, he got a point. I talked about this a couple months ago after, I forgot which fight. It was a real close fight. And they gave it to somebody, and I was like, that's the reason why, Golovkin got to knock out Canelo. And, Lara was right, man. I ain't saying Lara was robbed. I think I had it a draw. I definitely had it a draw. I remember that fight. I feel that Lara, I feel like Lara stopped punching. He started running again. And it's a difference between running and moving, but he was running. And the body work, the hooks to the body really slowed Lara down and slowed his attack down. He stopped punching, and he went into a defensive shell, and that was on him. He was up early in that fight. I think he took a strong lead, something like a 5-1. Don't get me wrong, but he let that go. But they did point out in the article. I'm gonna leave the article in the description, the link, that Floyd Mayweather, got a split decision. When most people thought he washed Canelo Alvarez on points, damn near won every round, probably like 1 or 2 at the most. And, that was that. And, Lara has a point. Golden Boy has a long history of, giving Canelo, big opportunity and points. And the only place that's worse than fighting Canelo or a Mexican in Vegas, or Canelo and Pacific in Vegas, is fighting a Mexican in Texas, when you talk about in America. And we know he had a horrible wide decision victory over Austin Trout, which most people had it a 2 or 3 point, in his favor or Austin Trout favor. And they played Austin Trout. You can go back to Pernell Whitaker and Chavez Sr. They played Pernell Whitaker. So at least Golovkin ain't happy. At least he can be happy that this fight is not at Dallas Cowboy Stadium or the Alamo Dome, wherever the hell they fight in Texas at. And Canelo, Triple G fought East. He came West. And he's fought in more places than, 4 more coasts sides of the U.S. than Golovkin has. He fought in New York. He fought in Los Angeles. Now he's fighting in Vegas. But he must understand that, he needs a knockout. I'm going to tell you that right now. Or a very dominant performance. My prediction video is coming up later for Canelo and Triple G. Come on, and I'll probably drop it tonight. I'll drop the Willie Monroe and Billy Joe Saunders sometime between 2, 3, or 4. And I'll drop the Canelo and Triple G later on tonight on Facebook and YouTube as well. And, we'll do a lot of content on this fight. And of course, Lara said he wants another crack at Canelo. We all know that ain't happening unless he, do something spectacular and get a few belts at middleweight. But we gone.